Hmm. Well, that's a good question. The reason why we have a 3-year training regimen is because you have so many folks out there who mean well. You have a lot of folks who are looking for truth. A lot of folks who are looking for science in the applied sense. You have a lot of folks out there who are hostile to what's been happening to our folks for generations around the globe. And in order for us to do anything about that constructively, we're required to have certain talents and skills and things amongst our ranks. And so, a few of us on this planet have been very blessed to know particular things about jurisprudence, things about the accounts of our annals, other various sciences and fields of endeavor. These things have been all culminated together and have been packed away for years on end. It took us many generations to unlock all these things and then put them to good use. Now, there were several who came in the previous generations from us, and we've gone through various progressions. You had many folks from Duse Muhammad, and Duse Muhammad Ali was one of the more previous ones. Much further back, you got folks like Busa in the Atlantis Islands. You have his counterpart here, which is Nat Turner, and then you had other folks who came behind them. Then you had Duse Muhammad Ali, who was basically one of the folks who was an instructor for the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Some call him a forerunner to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And then you have so many other folks that came there after that particular branch, Elijah Poole Bey, and down to brothers like El Hajj Malik Shabazz. But every one of them had different things that they brought to the table, like Prophet Muhammad brought things to the table way back in that particular time, and countless others before him. But where we are right here and now, things have become culminated. You have a whole host of things that's happening, and you're required to not merely know the accounts of our annals. You're not merely required to know things along the lines of astrological components, numerological components, and things like that. There's practical matters of government. Every house has something that they bring to the table, whether it be quote-unquote religious, whether it be spiritual, whether it be astrological, whether it be social, or whatever the case may be. From the Amexem-Moor-Empire standpoint, we are about government structure. We don't knock any of the other sciences or spheres of influence because they're all part of what we do. But they are not the whole thing that we do. And the sum must always be greater than the parts. Now, in answer of your question, why the 3-year training regimen? In order for you to engage in international discourse on an individual basis and a collective basis with knowledge and comprehension of how to engage, it's going to require you to have some fundamentals. So our regimen is basically to root folks in the fundamentals. And then from there, we break down the mechanics and the various concepts of the various forms of this thing called law, or basically a philosophy in action referred to as law. Then there's other components that go along with that. We cover all these things for general knowledge. Then from there, once you have a command of those things, now you can begin to engage in the mechanics of commerce, whether it be individually or collectively. Because when it comes down to international discourse, the bulk of it is all about maintaining or establishing trade. And when you have that, you have peaceable and peaceful coexistence. Where you don't have that, you have animosity. Now, these are all carnal issues. They're all physical issues. I don't argue that. But these matters happen to be a part of our physical manifestation on this particular plane. So we have to deal with them. So since we have to deal with them, it makes excellent sense, at least in our view, to know what in the world you're doing, but more importantly, why. When you know the why behind particular things, it allows you to engage sharply. Because at least now you have a point of reference that you can engage upon where you can use logic and reason. So our 3-year training regimen is designed to prepare folks to be able to do things on their own. If someone has to prepare a contract or whatever the case may be, they shouldn't have to go to someone and have to hire them to do that. Not if I've trained them. Not if one of my staff has trained them. They can take care of all these things on their own, which makes them standalone. But more importantly, collectively, it makes us exceedingly strong. You won't hear any of the Amexem-Moor-Empire nationals talking about, well, I'm sovereign. They don't talk like that. The reason why, because we all comprehend that collectively our sovereignty works. If you're going to walk around saying that you're a sovereign, that means you can take care of everything around you 360 degrees, 24/7, 365 and a quarter by yourself. It's not possible. You might have the know-how, but you can't cover everything by yourself all of the time. So it means that you need to be around folks who collectively think, act, and speak as you do. See what I'm saying? Because at that point, it will allow you the means to be able to take care of components of what sovereignty is, while other folks take care of other components of what sovereignty is, so collectively everyone can enjoy that sovereignty, which is basically doing your own thing freely and free from external control. These are what you want to be able to do. Control food, clothing, and shelter, because everything else besides that is basically gravy, as they would say. So just be clear that when you do particular things, remember where you are. You have to have knowledge comprehension of a great many things. So I hope that answers your question. So with that, I'll just say peace. Anyone else? All right.